Good evening, snitches. I'm the Animaniac, and tonight I shall be taking a look at a show I let slip through my fingers when it was first around. Gravity Falls. Created by Alex Hirsch, it ran on the Disney Channel from 2012 to 2016 for a total of 40 episodes over 2 seasons, where a pair of twins, voiced by Jason Ritter and Kristen Schaal, spend their summer vacation in the titular middle-of-nowhere town, coming across some curious things and unveiling a greater mystery behind them. And like how I said before, I never saw this show during its original run. When I first saw ads for the show pop up, it looked good, but I didn't feel like I wanted to watch it. And when on the off chance I saw an episode, I never felt like I wanted to watch more. It wasn't until a few years later when I got into watching animation critics that I started hearing about how great Gravity Falls was, and how many people who worked on the show went on to work on other projects, even creating their own shows. So for this Halloween, I decided to finally sit down and watch it. And to no one's shock, I loved it. Perhaps the reason why I didn't get into watching the show the first time around was how the characters looked. Their designs were fine, and the animators got their emotions across competently enough, but I didn't love them. Unlike the backgrounds that look like they're from certain modern comics. I'm sure one will come to me later. The environments give off the feeling of summer in a woodland area. The team captures the differing times of the day with different shades of white and yellow gradually shifting to red. The tall shadows within very dark rooms that only have a handful of light sources are excellent as well, and certain objects like cars, trains, and giant robots are cel-shaded CG so that they blend in more with the characters and the environments. All of this is great, but a cartoon looking good isn't enough. What about the characters? Well, Jason Ritter plays the twin who's more interested in what makes someone smart named Dipper. He wasn't too into his new environment when he first came to the eponymous town, but that was until he found one of the journals left behind by a mysterious author. They recorded their findings, including several creatures they and later he and his sister would encounter throughout the series, each curious, strange, and funny in their own way.
I have 3 Y chromosomes, 6 Adam's apples, pecs on my abs, and fists for nipples!
The journal he found also included instructions for incantations that either summoned or exorcised beings from other realms. Such abilities are lusted after by people like local child celebrity and mystic Gideon. We first meet this kid as he wins over Dipper's sister, and because of his status amongst the town alone, he was able to covertly hold Mabel hostage. That's not the only way he can be scary. In the same episode, it's revealed that he too has a journal written by the mysterious author, as mentioned earlier, granting him access to the powers that help him control the town, and to help him look for the other journals which he'll use to possibly rule the world. But in his attempts to steal the shack from their uncle, we're reminded we can laugh at him too. The man who's at odds with that kid is Dipper and Mabel's great uncle, Stan, a con artist who runs a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack, a place that's full of bogus oddities inside. How he's able to still keep the town enthralled is the real oddity. Nah. How he's able to do that and outsmart the law is another slice of this show's entertaining pie. Yet that's just him during the day. At night we see him go through a secret door behind the vending machine in the gift shop in the show's first episode. A little something that they wouldn't go back to until the end of the first season. The reason I'm not going into too much detail about the mystery in this show is because the fun of watching a mystery series is going in knowing very little so that you're amazed when you do get to the payoff. Now one of the many people who can entertain us in the meantime is Dipper's twin sister, Mabel, a girl who's more interested in being a party-loving goofball and chasing boys than helping her brother with whatever case he wants to solve. In the years after the show ended, Jello Apocalypse and Cece West have talked about how terrible she was throughout the show. Most of what she does to Dipper is light teasing, but some of her bigger offenses do come back to bite her. Not in the actual show, but it does bother some who are keeping track of it like me. Like when she finds out Dipper is accepting an apprenticeship where he stays in Gravity Falls when summer is over, after having an especially bad day. It's a moment that mirrors the moment Stan and his brother had a falling out over life plans changing. Yeah, sometimes life changes in ways we might not like, and there aren't a lot of things we can do to stop it. And I think it would just backfire on them if they tried. Much like how Mabel accidentally caused Weirdmageddon when she handed over the contained rift to who she thought was the time traveler voiced by Justin Roiland, but was actually Bill Cipher possessing him. I'll get to my thoughts on him later, but now I want to get to why this doesn't make Mabel look good despite how great the 4-part series finale is. Mabel is upset at Dipper staying behind to be Stan's brother's apprentice. In her eyes, this is bad because she'll be alone at high school, which she's nervous about because she's horrified at what it will actually be like. To emphasize how much I don't care about her problem, I'm going to go through some of the crimes she's committed over the show's run. She messed around with time and threw a month-long tantrum in order to get Dipper to change the timeline where she has her pet pig Waddles, but he isn't hitting it off with Wendy, his crush throughout the series. In the commentary for that episode, Hirsch said that Dipper contriving a way for him to impress Wendy was wrong. The following will probably dwarf that, such as abandoning and or jeopardizing what Dipper tries to do to chase her crush of the week. One of them, a merman who, after she freed him, learns that he's getting married but doesn't see how unhappy he is about it as part of a joke about how often she fails at love, and insisting that Stan and Dipper do what she wants despite their protests and then get upset that they had plans that don't involve what she wanted. If you couldn't tell by that recounting of events, Mabel mainly seems to think about herself more than others, and only does the latter when after things go too far or after she gets what she wants. Doesn't really help her case in that instance when she thinks intelligence in a man is dumb. So I have barely a reason to care about Mabel. And she's a main character we're supposed to like. In contrast to this is Pacifica Northwest, a character we're supposed to hate, and whenever she's on screen, the writers do a fantastic job getting that across. She struts around everywhere she goes like she owns the town, buying her victories, and insults those she sees as inferior. And it's very satisfying to see her get her comeuppance.
What? Mom!
That is until halfway through season 2, in the episode where Dipper is hired to exorcise a vengeful spirit from Northwest Manor so they don't have to face punishment for what their scumbag ancestors did to the loggers who built their mansion. Pacifica is found out to be not nearly as bad as her parents, even resisting the bell her dad uses to shut her down and make her do as he says to let in the rest of the townsfolk. An action that appeases the lumberjack, and after the party we see her being a bit more friendly to the Pines family. Yet when he, Wendy, and Seuss go inside her bubble to rescue her, Dipper succeeds in getting Mabel out by promising to throw away his apprenticeship just so he can look out for her during their high school years. I'd say she'd better hook him up with some quality girls to repay him, but I've seen how she operates and her track record. Time to wrap this up with a Dorito-shaped sadist who'd make me part of his furniture just for kicks. Bill Cipher is a being from another dimension who not only wants to take over the universe, but is his own chunk of funny, in his own sick way, while being surprisingly intimidating when he needs to be. Gravity Falls lives up to its hype. Its environments are beautiful, its character designs are nice and simple, the characters are good, and the stories, including the overall mystery surrounding the journals, were great. This will come as no surprise to anyone, but this is perfect. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment your own thoughts on the show below. If you want to stay updated on future videos and see some cool artwork, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and DeviantArt, and be sure to subscribe to my backup channel over on BitChute. The links are in the description, and if you want to be the first to know when a new video will be up, ring that bell after you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.